Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm Sir James coming at you guys with another video. I hope you guys are doing well. First off, I do apologize for the delay in this review, as not only was I waiting for the wraps to come in, but I decided to do a few extra weathering elements to the hilt to the point where I was satisfied enough to where I felt like it was complete and ready to be presented to you guys. If anyone who knows me personally, anytime I get a certain hilt, I like to do the few extra steps before giving you guys my initial review. It's always fun to do and showing you what you could possibly do with it. So first things first, just so there's no confusion, the Rey lightsaber that I'm reviewing is actually made by a company called LGT. However, I did purchase the hilt from Mystic Knight's Armory, which is a site that you may be familiar with or have heard at one point when I was reviewing that sword-looking hilt. Pretty sweet looking hilt, still one of my favorites. But anyways, when I got the package, it came with a 36-inch blade, but I'm going to use a shorter one for the purpose of this video. And it actually came in a case like this, which I thought was interesting as I never had a lightsaber to come in its own little case. I think this is a common thing that LGT sabers come in, but pretty cool. You do get a combination lock, but unfortunately the combination was not provided. Nah, I'm just kidding. There was no combination. I mean, you could remove the tabs and do that, but by default you could just pop this open and you're going to be presented with all your stuff on the inside. Now, of course, besides the usual stuff, charger to charge your battery, which does feature a removable battery, it also came with a NeoPixel blade plug. Not really the perfect style for this Rey hilt. This is more for like a Graflex. But, you know, if you have a Graflex, then there's a sweet blade plug right here included just for you. You also do get an acrylic stand. So if you don't have a saber stand, not to worry, one is provided. So I do like all the initial details there. And of course we have our actual hilts. Now, before I give you guys a closer look, I just want to go ahead and quickly explain everything that I've done to the hilt. Now, by default, out of the box, when I first received the saber, it looked great. And I like the fact that, yes, indeed, the activation is that toggle switch on the top. No regular button, hidden button. The top switch here is indeed the activation as it is in the film. So that's already a bonus number one. The hilt looked great. Of course, I did want to add the nice touch because, you know, Rey made her saber using her staff. So, you know, this is a staff that she's had for who knows how many years. So it's a little bit more old, it's a little bit beat up and weathered. And so I wanted to try to give that overall appearance. So what I ended up doing is providing a matte finish to this. The wrapping here is actually sourced from the film, which is a gauze bandage wrapping for the main bottom part, and then the rest of it is a waxed canvas material, which I got the wrapping from Multiverse Props, so I'll put a link to his page down below. And then along with that, with some additional paint, I also added some rust elements and dirt throughout the hilt, and also took some sandpaper along the edging, and I think this relatively looks great. My camera may not pick it up properly, but I'll put a link to my Instagram, which should hopefully probably do a little bit of a better job, whichever one looks best. But in person, if I were to hand this to you, then you could easily see all the details, and I'm very happy with how it came. So let me go ahead and give you guys that initial overall look. So here it is at a distance. I try to do my best to make it as close to possible in the film. Now, as far as the LGT hilt it goes, I would probably rank this at number 3. The reason why is because Corbanth has one, which is a little bit more accurate if you're going for accuracy. However, the one that I'm really excited for is one that's going to be released by KR Sabers. KR Sabers is going to be releasing one where, like in the film, you guys know that these, what do you call them, the little teeth here, open and close. Well, the KR Sabers, when he releases his will not only have the working mechanism here, but it will be to the point where when you twist it one way, the hinges will actually open, and then you twist it the other way, of course, it'll deactivate the saber, and the hinges will close. So that's going to be the one to be on the lookout for. Of course, that's going to be a little bit more money than what this one cost, but this one's still great overall, and the D-ring was actually already there, which is another bonus for me. Let me go ahead and show you guys how the inside looks. This is set up as a one-button Profi, which is what I have here. There was an option for an LED, but of course I went with the NeoPixel Profi option. By default, you do get a nice handful of Profi sound fonts to get you started. But of course, if you're familiar with it, you can go ahead and add your own twist to it. And I definitely wanted to because Fernando's blade style, he has a blade style to replicate how Rey's lightsaber turns on. You know, when she twists it, that little inner workings right here, you have like the flash of yellow, green, and blue before the blade ignites. So I have that on here. But here is what the inside looks like. I did replace the battery at the Vader's Vault because my battery by default was really hard to get out, and just to put not to put any strain on mine, I just changed my battery, which probably would be a common thing because you get a little bit of a cheaper battery anyways. So yeah, there's that, and there's your Profi right there, ready to go. But overall, a very nice setup and a good sized speaker. And just to show you guys too about the working mechanism here before I put the blade in. So yes, this is your working mechanism. And I decided to add adjuster mode. The only adjuster mode that I added is twist off, just to make it easier and to put less strain on the actual centerpiece. I mean, I doubt that piece is going to break, but as long as I don't have to mess with it too often, I just like to hopefully increase the lifespan on some of the sabers that I own. So let's go ahead and insert a blade, so that way you guys could see it all in action, because that's always the fun part. And I did go and I kind of made the fonts a little bit more proper in today's video. Instead of just random fonts, I made it representing what it's supposed to be. Alright, that's good. Just make sure everything's connected. Alright, let's go ahead and now turn off these lights. That way you guys can see it all in action. Now you may notice Vader's got his own lightsaber, NeoPixel as well. Well, different name, but we'll touch upon that in the near future. So let me go ahead and try to show you guys the little window effect, because this is going to be important for you. And once again, so as stated, Fernando blade style, he has that Prion effect for it. Out of the box, you actually do not get that Prion effect, so if you're familiar with Profi and know how to do it, then that's something that you can add. I wish it was provided by default. It would have been nice to the potential buyers, but it's easy to add and easy to fix and whatnot, so definitely happy with the results of that. So let's go ahead and start with, of course, font number 1, which is for representing of what this hell is. But yes, you do have your windows there. Now, if there's one thing that I wish, I might be able to see it, I wish the blade would be a little bit lower because the chassis sits a little bit higher. That's probably my only complaint, and that, besides my battery being a bit of an issue to get out, that's my only 2 complaints with it. Now, once you add the wrapping, even without the wrapping, it's still a very comfortable hilt to hold indeed. Of course, adding the wrapping is, of course, going to be adding a little bit more grip for you to get a hold of it. So even though this is a 1-button setup, it's still fairly easy to activate everything that you want to activate, from the music to the blade locking and also the change color. And basically the way the change color works is that when the saber is on and you hold it upside down, by twisting the knob and then twisting the hilt, you'll go into the color cycle mode, similar to what I've demonstrated before with the other 1-button setups. Here's Leia. And then to activate the force, you basically twist this and do like a little gesture there. And that would activate any kind of force or fonts or quotes, whatever you have there.
Ben Solo.
Here's Ben Solo. So if you haven't already guessed in terms of the fonts, yes, this is all related to either 7, 8, or 9. There's one I forgot to add on here, which is the shock baton, but you guys saw it last time. But again, this is definitely a very nice and comfortable hilt regardless, and I think LGT did an excellent job with this one. It may not be the most accurate, but if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper for REYS Saber and you want to put a little bit of extra work for the weathering, again, you can't go wrong with it.
You know what I've come for.
I think this is the one that I added Kylo Ren's temper tantrum. Yeah, there it is. What was funny is that when I downloaded this one, there was actually in the extra folders called Temper Tantrum, and that's basically, you know, Kylo Ren breaking everything every time he gets all pissed off. But still fun.
Empress Palpatine.
Of course, gotta have Empress Palpatine. Now this one, you guys might be wondering, it doesn't look unstable. It had an unstable effect. Well, that's because for this blade style, I have it to where by default, when it's not moving around, it's got a more of a stable look to it. But when I swing, you see how it goes to an unstable? So again, stable. There you go. Hopefully that camera's picking it up. Otherwise, it's gonna look goofy. But yeah, pretty neat. Just thought I had a little fun with that one. And since I already have Kylo Ren technically already unstable to begin with, I figured it'd be nice to go from stable to unstable. Another Kylo Ren one. I think there's 3 Kylo Rens in here. I don't know why. But that was in the Force effect, so I thought it was pretty neat.
You ever fly this thing? No! This ship hasn't flown in years!
So this one is called Piece of Junk, I believe was the name of it, from Kyberphonic. And then for Nano Blade Style, he's got a blade style for the whole hyperspace effect for the blade. And you look right there in the window again. So yes, you got the sounds of the Millennium Falcon, and as an added bonus, you also got like the little doohickeys that tend to go off. And I want to see if I could get it to do the other one. You know, sometimes when the Millennium Falcon tends to have an issue, it makes that other noise. So again, we'll activate again. So you can kind of see how the effect is going on the shirt. Let's see, I don't know if there's a certain angle to it, but we'll see. Upside down. There we go. That's why I wanted to do.
It's treason, then.
Now, technically, we didn't see Palpatine use a lightsaber in Episode 9. It was just the Force lightning. But I had to add this in here because you guys like it. Never gets old. So, you know, I figured why not.
Why are you here?
Gotta have Luke Skywalker. So you have the sounds of the rocks and whatnot. And no, I did not add any porg sounds.
Wherever you are hard to find.
So these last two, you guys may remember in episode 9 when Kylo Ren and Rey were having that lightsaber battle, but it was a weird way of doing it because they were battling with like the connection of the Force kind of thing, or Rey was on the ship and Kylo was in the city or the town or whatever. But basically, Kyberphonic made a saber font for that, and you have the audio to kind of have that distortion. So it's a pretty neat font. Yeah, I believe you get both of them in the same package too. So which is why when this is lit, Kylo Ren's saber sounds a little bit different. Now I did add something on here.
I pushed you in the desert because I needed to see it. I needed you to see it. Who you are. Tell me where you are. You don't know the whole story. They sold you to protect you.
Stop talking!
Right. I know what happened.
So of course gotta have that on there. And then last one.
You're hard to get rid of.
Just got that nice hum and sounding to it. I don't have any quotes on this one, unfortunately, at least not yet. So it's just your standard Force. It's the same for font 1. And disable. So there you guys have it. That is the LGT REYS lightsaber from their install, Profi NeoPixel. And it's great. Like I said, by default, you do get a nice packaging with everything. Unfortunately, you do not get any form of wraps whatsoever. But I find that as a good opportunity to either do the wrapping yourself and to take the hilt initially from how it comes and do with the weathering elements. But like I said, if you're someone that's more looking for something crazy accurate, I know Corbat had released one, which unfortunately is not available anyways right now, so I can't really show that one. And the other one that I'm personally waiting for is going to be the one by KR Sabers, where it's got the entire working mechanism with this opening and closing. That's going to be really cool to see. But like I said, let me know what you guys think of this one in the comment section down below. So if you're hesitant of going with an LGT option for REYS Saber, it's a great one. I love it personally, and you guys know I reviewed a lot of different company hilts and whatnot, and I still think that this is a great option. And you got your removable battery, which is great. Profi board option if you want to go with that. You also got a D-ring here, which I don't think technically Rey had a D-ring on hers, but I'm a little bit biased anyways. I like the D-ring option and removable batteries to begin with. But again, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Until then, I'm Sir James, and may the Force be with you.